Welcome back to the Extra Medium channel. On this episode, I'm going to increase my cooling capacity by adding a larger radiator. Here is the stock radiator and the new one. So I'll transfer over all the parts from the OEM radiator, like these rubber bushings that go into these really large holes. These are for these bushings so that you can have the sleeve in there and a bolt can go through and secure it to however I'm going to position it without actually holding tightly to the aluminum, which would cause stress in these welds and could break and possibly wear a hole in it. So that's why these are all rubber mounted, as you may know or you may not. If you don't, that's why. Now I need the top of the radiator to be a certain distance down from the frame, so obviously it doesn't interfere. So I'm just taking a measurement here from this amount of material, and I will mark on this little aluminum. This aluminum strap is just so useful for making brackets. So I know where I need the hole to be and where I need the bottom to be. Hole will be right in the middle of these lines. It doesn't quite stick in there far enough, so I need to notch out a little bit to clearance against the frame. And this will work just fine. After this, I'll just drill my hole exactly where I need it. I'd like to tap this hole, but if I throw this in my two-way, I don't have enough room at the bottom to turn it. And it's a square, obviously, most taps are, square on the edge. One thing that you can do is, knowing that that is a square, get a socket that has the same diameter. You'll need a multi-point socket like this. So any 4 of those points inside there will make a square. There are multiple squares. That slides right in. Now I have an extension. And now with an extension and an adapter to my drill, I'm ready to tap this hole. So with my hole tapped, I can just throw in a bolt and attach the bracket. To that bracket, I can attach the top of the radiator. Now with the top radiator secured, the bottom is free to swing back and forth. I want this at a specific angle, and that angle should match the fairings. So in the next step, I'll need to put the fairings on so I know where to put the bottom mounts. Now with the fairings on, I can see how this lines up with the fairings angle. So I've got, can't go forward anymore. Actually, right there looks really good. I think that looks fantastic. And I'll mark wherever it lands properly. Right there. Now with the right side done and being attached, I could focus on the left side. This one's a little bit harder to film behind the fairings, but I need the fairings there to tell me where to go. There. To there. Okay, let's give it a shot. Mounted up. The other side's mounted, you can see through there, and the top is mounted. So, pretty rigid for a radiator, but it's all rubber isolated. So on all of the mounting points, it is rubber isolated over there as well. So 2 of the legs will fit on there and on that one up there. However, the third one will not, because it doesn't reach all the way to here. And I realized that this is the arm that doesn't have a hole yet. These two have the holes that line up. And this is the one I was going to extend from here. But I realized this may be long enough. It may be long enough if I could just clock it up to this angle. It may go to the other hole up here. So I'm gonna give that a shot. I'm gonna drill out this spot weld and see if I'm correct. I used all of my measuring equipment, which is just my eyeballs. So it seems like it should work, and we'll find out. After I got this off and checked to see if it would fit, and it is, and it's short by about 3/4 of an inch, or 13.4 kilonewtons, I believe is the metric conversion. So I'll have to make a longer one. Worth a shot. Now with that rather unfortunate miscalculation in measurement, I do see that I just need to extend it from this hole up top down to the fan, which is right there. Once I've done that, pretty easy. All right, there's the arm all the way up and attaches up there. So I got it on. Here's a view from the top. That one right there. So now the fan is sturdy, and if you're doing something like this, make sure that your fan is not rubbing against your radiator. That would be a horrible thing to find out when you get to the track and hear some funky whirring noises coming from the fan. So yeah, it's good to go. That's all good to go. Now it's time to connect all these hoses. So in this shot shows how I'm repositioning the capture tank. So it was a capture tank and I'm turning it into more of a recovery tank. So I'll mount that up above so that the water flows back in easily without having to have a full tank or a full hose to siphon. I'll mount this recovery tank within the shell of the false gas tank. Now with everything mounted up, the actual overflow from the recovery tank will go into a capture tank. And that was the last bit. As you can see, the radiator now fills up the space within the fairings. The fairings are following the same angle as the radiator, and this will work much better to capture more air and keep the engine cooler with our big bore kit. As always, thanks for watching the video, and I hope you tune in next time. I'll see you at the track.